off today, 221 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on here at, you know what, I'm actually not too sure. We're either going to do Code Wars or freeCodeCamp. Let's see what we might be up against if we go down the Code Wars route. Shall we? Oh, today would be the super mega difficulty 7. I'm not sure that's how they categorized it, but that's how we categorized it yesterday. Hardest instead of most completed. Hardest. Level 7, even though we're now level 6, we are looking for the most difficult level 7, focusing on fundamentals. That's not part of a series. Some circle. You know what? There's another. This has changed since yesterday. Huh. Some circles. Playing with sets, most likely. Random case. Ours is gone. The one that we were looking at yesterday has vanished. So those are all series-based. Some circles, I take it that's because there's issues with it. Maybe? Chuck Norris 1 push-ups. Maybe drone flyby. I'm not too sure. Let's actually give it some time. What if we check our profile? Can we see cadence that we've entered but didn't start? I don't think we can. Although I guess I could go digging through my browser history. Binary edition. Unfinished cases. Maybe that one. Take a number. Blah, blah, blah. Are we alternate? Aha! There we go. Satisfaction rate, 95. This was, I think it was 2nd or 3rd on the list yesterday. And it sounds more fun than the other one. The circles issue. I just don't know if we want to deal with this now. So we've got counting beasts based off heads and tails and the whole breakdown. There's a ratio of face to backside, apparently. What are other options? Our other option is here at freeCodeCamp. What item or challenge would we be up against? Seek and destroy. That sounds fun, too. Okay, but technically we would be starting on Falsy Bouncer. So, mythical heads. I'm pretty sure we aren't doing this one today, but just to read through it again. You're in ancient Greece, giving Philoctetes? Phil. His name's Phil, damn it. We're giving Phil a hand in preparing a training exercise for Hercules. You've filled a pit with 2 different ferocious mythical creatures for Hercules to battle. Orthus and Hydra. Hydra, the formidable Orthus, is a 2-headed dog with 1 tail, and the mighty Hydra has 5 heads and 1 tail. Before Hercules goes in, he asks you, how many of each beast am I up against? How many of each beast am I up against? So we would be counting the tails. You know the number of heads and the total number of tails. Whoa. We know the number of heads and the total number of tails. That's the dangerous part, right? But you didn't consider how many of each beast. task, given the number of heads and the number of tails, work out the number of each mythical beast. The data is given in 2 parameters. Your answer should be returned as an array. So 24 Orthus, 24. I'm pretty sure that's just counting the face of them, the heads. And Hydra 15, I'm pretty sure that's also counting just the face, the heads of them. It. Her. It. Could be him. Yeah, so we just do a basic breakdown for tails, I would assume, count the tails. That's my guess. We'll save that for another day. Falsy bouncer, remove all falsy values from an array. Falsy values in JavaScript are false, null, 0, an empty string, the keyword undefined, and the non-keyword. Non, one of those. Nan. Remember to use read, search, ask. If you get stuck, write your own code. Here's some helpful links: Boolean objects and filter, which really just sucks the crap out of everything, doesn't it? Isn't filter kind of our miracle solution? And basically with Boolean values, we've got all of this stuff. I feel like we just drop all of this into filter and we call it a show. We drop in our array, it cuts out all the fat that we don't want. We hit the ground running. Now, I've probably oversimplified it in my mind, but we've had worse. We're definitely going to do this. We're going to save the mythical nonsense for another day. Closing out of that noise, focusing on freeCodeCamp. Fingers crossed we can deal with this swiftly and continue on with our day. Falsy bouncer. Remove all falsy values from an array. Falsy values in JavaScript are false, null, 0, an empty string, undefined, and nan. Remember to use read, search, ask. Helpful links, Boolean goodness. We can read the beginning. The Boolean object is an object wrapper for a Boolean value. New Boolean value, optional. The initial value of the Boolean object. The value passed as the first parameter is converted to a Boolean value. If necessary, if the value is omitted or is 0, -0, null, false, non, undefined, or the empty string, double quotes, empty, the object has an initial value of false. If the DOM object, document all, is passed as a parameter, the new Boolean object also has an initial value of false. All other values, including any object or the string false, create an object with an initial value of true. So only an empty string will trigger false, and all this other good stuff will trigger false. Putting in the string false, that would return a true value, because that has substance to it. Create an object with an initial value of true. Do not confuse the primitive Boolean values, true and false, with the true and false values of the Boolean object. I think they're referring to this. Or they're referring to Boolean values like true and false, like this false here, and the returned value of the Boolean object, this guy. We'll figure out what this nightmare leads to, or how it ends, shortly. Any object which is not undefined or null, including a Boolean object whose value is false, evaluates to true when passed a conditional statement. For example, the condition following the if statement evaluates to true. An object, hey there, little cat. An object of which the value is not... Whoa. What now? An object of which the value is not undefined or null, including a Boolean object whose false evaluates to true. Oh my god, cat. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. No. So many claws. So much confusion. Brace yourselves, little one. Brace yourselves. She's getting rowdy. She's getting rowdy. Hold on. Oh god. Wow. That was awful. That is the opposite of graceful. Yeah. Good times. Little cat, let's watch your face. You've already moved the mic enough. Be-de-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Wow. Just look at that. You really moved a lot of stuff. That's relatively normal right there, hopefully. Oh my god. Pick a side. Pick a lane. Tiny cat. No. Oh, Jesus. Look, just itch your face over here. See that? See that? Oh my god. Who invited that cat? I'm telling you, she is the perfect mascot for this stream. My ability to code is 100% represented in her obliviousness to the world. Is that even a thing? A word? Obliviousness? Obliviosity? That can't be right either. What are we looking for? Something about Booleans or a cup of better life. Maybe. The answer to life, the universe, and everything. Well, no, it's more of the question. We all know the answer. The answer is 42. However, the answer to this particular question or challenge is not 42. Alright, texty stuff solved. Let's do this. What's the next bit? Filter. The filter method creates a new array with all elements that pass the test implemented by the provided function. Who's doing what now? The filter method creates a new array with all the elements that pass the test. That pass the test. So we could set up a Boolean object and then we could test against that with filter. It's kind of weird because the Boolean object focuses on false or hunting for false things, if you know, right? That's how it seemed, at least. My only concern is the undefined or null issue. Any object of which the value is not undefined null, including a Boolean object whose value is false. You know what? Maybe they're just explaining Boolean values. Screw that noise. Let's just do filter and hope for the best. Who likes that plan? Go team. Function. Bouncer array is our parameter. Don't show a false ID to this bouncer. You got it, dude. Hashtag full house. Something rhymes with variable blankety blank. So it's a new, it creates a new array. This is our current array. We're creating a new array. Bounced? Is that a good one? We've got bouncer, variable, bounced, not bounced, not bounced. These are awful variables. Why are we so bad at coming up with variable titles? You know what? I'm sure that could be some psychological test to gauge like a person's personality, coming up with character names or something like that. In a story, my inability to generate decent variable names has to be tied. They're just all so literal. You know what? They don't have to be literal. I feel the need for them to be. It helps me visualize like this on what the hell's actually going on. I know it could just be X, but I wouldn't be able to piece it together as easily. And I still struggle every single day doing all this crap. So the fact that this is the easy path is shocking. So variable, not bounced. Array dot filter, which is a function in itself, which takes a parameter of, we're going to call it value, just for shits and giggles. Let's drop in some curliness, and that gets its own line, and this gets a semicolon, and you get a semicolon, but we're going to figure out what we put in front of it. Words, crap, see, words was the name of the variable, so value is fine. Bounced. False. Value? We'll stick with value. Value is nice and generic. Again, that literal thing. Eesh. We gotta work on that. Return word length less than 6. So as long... Word length less than 6. If value equals... Maybe we can set up an if statement inside here. If value does not equal blank, 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 and blank, return the word. Yeah? Maybe not. Boolean. Let's look at their examples. Variable x new, Boolean false if x, this code is executed. It's a new Boolean, it's false. This behavior does not apply to Boolean primitives. For example, the condition following the if statement evaluates to false. X equals false if x, this code will not execute. Do not use a Boolean object to convert a non-Boolean value to a Boolean value. Instead, use Boolean as a function to perform this task. X, Boolean expression, that's preferred. X, new Boolean expression, don't use. So this is creating a Boolean. They don't like that. If you specify any object, including a Boolean object, whose value is false, as the initial value of a Boolean object, the new Boolean object has a value of true. Variable my false, new Boolean, false, initial value false. Variable g, new Boolean, my false, equals true. So the initial false input triggers a false. However, when it cascades from there, this variable, which is being told to be false, that variable, even though it's holding a false value, will return true. My string equals new string. Hello, that's a string object, and s, string value of true, because it's not any of the falsy values. Do not use Boolean object in place of blank. Length property whose value is 1 represents prototype methods. No method. Boolean instance. Property nonsense. Method nonsense. Yeah, good. Examples. New Boolean. So be true. New Boolean. Can I set multiples in here? Can I just drop in the name of the array and see what the hell happens? No. What I would want to do is create a for loop. Create a for loop for the array. And cycle through. Create a for loop for the array. Cycle through everything. If it has a false value, don't do anything. Return the others? How do I say return the false values? How the... It's right there. I know it is. I can see it. We're so close. What if it was any one of these? So it's just false in this one. All we need to do is return value. Return something. Filter automatically goes through. So we don't need a for loop because it's already going through each item. And you know what? There's two false. There's the empty string and false itself. We want to return the value if it does not equal false. If it doesn't equal I want to just put all of these blank. Can I just do commas like that? Blank, 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 and blank. I feel like I would need ors. We'll try it with commas in the meantime, then we'll try it with ors, then we'll try it with ands, and we're going to piece this together. False. Or yeah, okay. let's try that. Okay, they still hate us. That's cool. What if we do the Boolean object? Boolean. And run. Still pissed. You know what, let's do Command Z, commas, 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 and one more. Boolean stuff, piecing it together. Dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee-dee, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. False. Val. Super mega death. You know what? I've had return array at the bottom this whole time. Crazy son of a... Let me go run through all that Command Z. No. Death. Death. Also death. We are simply... Yeah, look at that. Oh god, what did we do? Crazy person's choice. Ugh. Mega death. Let's just run it normally. This is all bad. I don't think comma is what's needed. See, 7, 8, 9. We're trying to get rid of the emptiness and false. No falsy values. None of this. You shall not pass, right? That old bit. Let's copy it with the space. We'll try that on for size. There's this. And you, yeah, look at that. Oh god, we ruined it. And paste. Aha! Beautiful, beautiful. Run it. Oh, those. Boo. Why is... Oh, we got undefined wrong. Death. Okay, so now let's try Boolean stuff. Boolean stuff. Boolean stuff. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Mega death. Could be back to the comma nightmare. Yeah, that's better. Comma stuff. Boolean nonsense once more. And then if this doesn't work, then it may be and. But I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, it's pissed at everything. Hey, corrupt file! How are you doing? You're on early today. Yes, I am. Yeah, we had an early stream yesterday and today. Hopefully your day is going well. Corrupt file 105. Would it be and? Quite possibly, since I've thrown everything else against the wall. I'm thinking and, hoping and is our next best guess. Do-do-do-do, dee-dee-dee-dee, ba-dee-dee-dee-do-do-do-do-do. Yes, good, good. Might be Boolean, might not be. Let's get rid of the Boolean nonsense. See how it does without it. Oh, super death. Oh my god, you soulless god. Oh, son of a... Okay, so I redid everything again, and I've still got return at the bottom. Bah. Basket of whores. Son of a... Smothering goddamn... God, fuck. That's why we redid everything. Can you believe that death? I would be the surgeon who sews the person up with the equipment still inside them. Oh, I apologize to any future patients. Not that we have any desire to be a doctor or operate on anyone. Unless it's a crisis scenario. Oof. Let's try or... No, before we get rid of the ands, let's try the Boolean crap. Copy. Now that we got rid of that frickin' return statement, that stowaway at the bottom. Okay. Not Boolean for that. Let's try or. Copy. Pasting. And we're oring. Ta-da. Didn't work. And for good measure, let's get rid of Boolean. Okay. Still pissed. Fair enough. And let's try it with commas. Megadeth, Megadeth, dee-dee-dee-doo-doo-doo-doo. We will get there, run it, nothing, and once more, Boolean goodness. Bool, 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 bool. Bool, 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 bool. Boolean. Okay, so we're left with no hope. All is doomed. Now, what would I recommend? Clearly, our logic is flawed, and I get that. I do. It hurts. I mean, it's wishful thinking. I would like to think that it would be that simple, whether Boolean is involved or not. Let's kind of default this back to something a bit more friendly. Okay. So, we've got our function, bouncer. We have our parameter, which is array. We've got our variable that we're trying to return all the words that are not being bounced out. Array.filter. Filter will return all the things that pass through successfully. So if value, let's say it was, if our array was 1 to 9, and our value was any value less than, no, any value greater than 3, everything from 4 and up would be returned. Well, 3 and up and would be returned. So only the things that pass the test get through. We want to return any value, and filter already loops through everything. At least I'm pretty sure it does. It should loop through everything in an array. We want it to return any value that doesn't equal any of these falsy things. If it doesn't equal false, null, 0, an empty string, undefined, or none, it should spit it out. I think it should be or. It should either, in my opinion, it should be commas or ors. I don't think it needs to be and, because then you'd want all of that. You know, if the value was false and null and 0 and this and that and non, if it equaled all, what is that, 5 or 6 of those different possibilities, only at that point would it not equal that. So that's why I think it's or commas. It's just my issue is the damn Boolean thing. You know what? That's the only thing we haven't tried. Now that we've gotten rid of return, let's try just Boolean. I don't think that's going to work, but it's worth a shot. Now that we got rid of that stupid stowaway at the bottom. Run test? Yeah, they hate it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Value. Not sure why that would work, but when in Rome. Death. Well, why doesn't that return anything? Return value greater than 3. Death. Why doesn't that work? Word length less than 6. Super death. Super death. Figured it would have at least returned 7 and 9. Maybe I have to split the array. Why would I have to split the array? That doesn't make any sense. You know what? Time to Google the crap out of this. Remove all falsy values from an array. Falsy values, blah, blah, blah. Remember to use blankety blank. Some are helpful. We're just going to steal this. Because I honestly don't see any other way of making it work. Stack Overflow. I like to remove all falsy values from an array. Falsy values in JavaScript are false, null, 0, the empty string, undefined, and non. Function, bouncer, array. Array equals array.filter function n. Oh, it's each one. Return n if it doesn't equal undefined, and return n if it doesn't equal null, and return n. Isn't there a shorthand? Isn't there a faster way of writing that? Hold on. I don't think so. The only thing that comes to mind is if we were to, like, map n does not equal... I guess we could do n does not equal map the value, or, yeah, no. I just want there to be a shorthand way. But anyway, so that's what's going down. And then return this. So we're setting up a new variable. So that's what it is. It's the not bounced. Variable equals... At least I think it is. Array. And does filter affect the original? No, it creates a new thing. All right. So when in Rome, do as the Romans do. when in Stack Overflow, do as the Stack Overflowians do, and is non does not equal non. That's really interesting, right there. N does not equal false, and n does not equal 0, and n does not equal blankety blank. Return blah. Return blah. Alright, let's give it a shot. Okay, so we want, and they have, you know what it should have been? And it probably could have been fine. I should have had return not bounced. Down here, return not bounced. That also would have probably been... Look at that. Little kitty, did you see? Look at that. Ha! We got 7 and 9. Oh my god, your foot's caught on something. Bad. Look at this. Success. Huh. Not with the little cat. Little kitty's a fiasco. Okay, hold on. Yes, good. We finally have some movement. Beautiful. Okay. Dum. Yeah, I'm gonna run through all my stupid ideas again, even though we know that it's supposed to be and. But, bear with me. Crazy person's choice. We get to ride out this nightmare together. Isn't that great? Yeah. Good times. This is like a road trip, but to an awful destination. This isn't like a good road trip to like the Grand Canyon or Zion National Park, forest, one of those. Yeah, no, nothing cool. This is like a road trip. Not even a Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. This is like a road trip to Arby's in a different state. No one wants to do that. No one wants to go to the Arby's down the street, let alone have to cross through multiple state lines just to go to another Arby's. That's the trip we're on now. Watching me relive all of the terrible conditional things. So, hold on. Let's do false and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, look at this. And run it. Cool. Emptiness. Doesn't like it at all. Let's try null with a space. Copy. And this. And that. And this guy. And that guy. And we're pasting. And we're running. Holy crap. Did you guys see that? 7, 8, 9. It's working. Okay. So what else? What the else could be the issue? Bouncer, false, null, non, should return an empty thing. I agree, it should return an empty thing. What did it return, though? Bouncer 1, 2, null, return, should define 1 and 2. Maybe it's the single equal sign. Maybe it needs to be 2. Run test. Oh, more specific. Boo. Running test. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I think it has to do with the equal sign thing. Which is why I think we're going to have to do this solution. Since you want to get rid of falsy values, just let JavaScript do its thing. Interesting. Return. Not V. What the deuce? Since you want to get rid of, just let it do its thing. The double application of the not operator will make the filter callback return true when the value is truthy and false when it's falsy. A double negative? Interesting. Well, that's cool. Your code is calling non, but not passing in a value. That's why the test didn't work for you. The isNon function returns true if its parameter, when coerced something to a number, is non and false otherwise. Edit. Note. Function bouncer filter boolean would also work too, as Lord Lipsum notes in another answer, because the built-in boolean constructor does pretty much the exact same thing as the double not. Wow. So so I don't even need the that's really what they're getting at. This is creating something new. This is checking. Where's the ones without new? This is checking to see if it is basically equivalent to that. Otherwise, Boolean is just checking all of that noise. Ergo, and even though it houses true and false and all that crap, if we just drop it in, like they said, how did they phrase it? They just shoved Boolean in the filter out the false crap. That is a cool solution. Well, the other thing is, let's try double. Yeah, syntax, so that's cool. That's fine. Stupid idea. But, more importantly, all they had was the single line return this filter function value. No. It was return filter. You didn't even have to state the function or the value. You just drop in Boolean. It's so simple and clean. Return Boolean. It's stunning, really. To Boolean. And we don't need that variable anymore. Does that really? That is so cool. That's fascinating. Look at that. So, again, from the top. Because when you do a Boolean object, or Boolean the Boolean object itself, the value passed as the first parameter is converted to as a Boolean value if necessary. If the value is omitted as 0, -0, null, false, non, or undefined. Oh god, we clicked undefined. Back. Death. Undefined. Or the string's empty. The object has an initial value of false. So its initial value for Boolean is false. So it's filtering out that crap. If dom.doc all is passed as a parameter, the new Boolean object has the initial value of false. All other values, including any object or string, false, blankety blanking blank. Don't confuse primitive Boolean values as true or false. So I think this was the part that I missed last time. I mean, we read it, but I don't think it really sunk in. Don't confuse the primitive Boolean values, true and false with the true and false values of the Boolean object. Separate beasts. Cool. So, and this, I believe, is the key. Well, all of that really is the key to this, since we are filtering out those falsy things. And since it's an object, it's basically a function in itself. So instead of needing to do function and a value, since it's Boolean as an object by itself, it's got both of those pieces living right there inside of it, which is so clever. That's why we don't need some clever thing or to keep piling on top of it. That is just awesome. Run test. The world rejoices. Well, probably not. I rejoice. That's such a clever fix. Awesome. All right, we're going to keep the stream brief and short, so that's about it. We are going to take a peek at what we have for tomorrow. Seek and destroy. You will be provided with an initial array, the first argument in the destroyer function, followed by one or more arguments. Remove all elements from the initial array that are of the same value as these arguments. Cool. Yet again, another filter. Another item / challenge that will be implementing the filter method to solve that. Way cool. Good times. We survive another day of the year of training and learning to code. 245 items down. The party continues tomorrow with day 222. Twos across the board. In the meantime, thank you again to anyone and everyone who stopped by to view the stream. Corrupt File, thank you for hanging out with us today. Anyone else who may have accidentally stumbled in here to watch the pain and the learning, any and all views are greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. We are backing out of CodeCamp into OBS. Stopping the stream. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it!